Hello and welcome back to the Field House in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. We have a Super Essex Conference Colonial Division matchup right here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. Coming up next.
He's going to take it himself for a championship!
A double play wins it to Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch! Mackay, it's on touchdown.
Into the layup, goes at the buzzer.
Frazier wins it, the championship.
Hello and welcome back to the Field House in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. It's our second game of the year for the Livingston Lancers right here, broadcasted on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network as they take on the 7-3 coming into this game strong Belleville Buccaneers. The Lancers come into this one 3-8, bouncing off of a solid weekend, including a 20-point win against North Tech. My name is Ryan Lowy. I'm joined with Alex Weiss on the call. And Alex, first of all, it's a pleasure having you here today on your color debut. Don't stress out, it's going to be a fun one. We got a great game coming up, and trust me, I cannot wait to hear what your keys to the game are.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Ryan. So we talked to Coach Cohen before the game. Coach has been here 18 years. He knows what he's doing. Something that he was really adamant about is keeping the Buccaneers under 45 points. He said that he really wants his defense to be locked in today, and a huge part of being successful is going to be keeping the Buccaneers low scoring. Going off of that, he also said he wants his team to control the ball better. He really wants his guys to stay under 13 turnovers. This team has been struggling to hold on to the ball as of late, and he thinks that if his team can hold on to the ball, stay under that 13 mark, then they'll have a really good shot at winning this game. Something that we really need to look at today, especially, is that for the first time in a while, we're going to have fans in the building. This is the first time in this year that the Lancers are going to have their classmates and their fans supporting them on the court. It's going to be a very high energy arena today, but Coach Cohen said that they can't let that energy distract them. They got to stay focused, they got to stay locked in.
Yeah, that's right, no doubt about it. Actually, as you said, the Lancers were able to be here for the home opener, the student section, in which they were able to take down a team that they were unable to beat a second time, and that is North Star Academy. And then after that, unfortunately, Livingston had to shut down the gym to spectators for all winter athletics. That includes sports like wrestling, girls basketball, of course, what we're seeing today, boys basketball, fencing, etc. But now let's talk about the Belleville Buccaneers once again. As we do know, their head coach is Jim Catalano. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, so Coach Catalano has been with the program for a little while now. He actually was a multi-sport athlete as a Belleville Buccaneer. He played basketball and baseball. As a matter of fact, he scored the first ever basket in the history of the Buccaneers basketball program. Now, he's been around a little bit. He was a coach at Red Bank Catholic as well as Wayne Hills, but he has come back to his alma mater to help this Belleville Buccaneers team achieve something great this year.
And then, of course, the Livingston Lancers head coach is Dave Cohen, former athletic director here at Livingston High School, as he gave away the position in 2018 to doing an excellent job, Mr. Richard Porfido. And Coach Cohen has been the head coach of the basketball program simultaneously now for 18 years. It's been watched. Tell us a little bit about Coach Cohen and his son, Luke Cohen.
Yeah, so Coach Cohen has the privilege of being able to coach his son, Luke, who has been lights out for these Lancers this year. So far, Luke has been by far the leading scorer, having 133 points in just 11 games played. This comes from 35 three-pointers in just 11 games, and he's been playing exceptionally well this year. And it is his hard work, it is his dedication that has led Livingston to a 20-point win, a dominant win, 45-25 over Tech in their previous game.
That's right, no doubt about it. Now let's revert right back to our keys of the game for a second, just to talk a little bit more about Belleville. Keep Casino hot. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Casino?
Yeah, so Richmond Casino is their leading scorer, and he's coming off a very good performance with 12 points. Richmond Casino has been lights out for these Buccaneers. He actually has 122 points despite playing in only 10 games. He also has 28 rebounds, which is third, excuse me. And he's accompanied by two exceptional scorers, exceptional playmakers in Nasir Bey and Shane Laquindanum. Now, all three of those guys have been instrumental into the success of these Belleville Buccaneers.
No doubt about it. So now, as we're getting closer to tip-off, let's take a look at the Livingston Lancers starting lineup. We talked about son to the head coach, Dave Cohen. That's Luke Cohen. Let's highlight another player. Let's highlight Big Riss. The man's an absolute beast. Statistically, he's been struggling this year, but he is the big man in the middle. He's doing a phenomenal job. He worked his way into the starting lineup after we heard that Lancers football sophomore, I cannot think of his name right now, announced that he will not be playing this year. I believe that is Sam McNair. Yes, that's one thing. If Sam McNair announced he will not be playing basketball this year, he will instead be playing 7v7 football over the offseason to prep for football next year. So that fits Harris Rosenthal into the lineup. So he's another player to watch for the Livingston Lancers outside of our keys to the game. So let's talk about Harris Rosenthal for a little bit. He's the big man, he's the center, the only non-guard on this roster.
Yeah, so like you said, Rosenthal kind of snuck in there, but he's been really good for this Lancers squad. Rosenthal has played in 9 games this season, only 23 points, but he's been instrumental to the success of the Lancers in the games that they have won. His presence on the court, his big body, and his ability to fill in that role of a center in a team that's kind of deprived of that big man role is the reason that the Lancers have been able to win the games that they have.
And no doubt about it. Now we're going to shift over to the Belleville Buccaneers starting lineup as we talk about the Lockheed Datum. I guess the 3 brothers are just phenomenal.
All 3 of them have played an important role on this Buccaneers team, I agree. I want to zero in especially on Shane. Shane Laquadanum has been insanely good for this team. He has 28 three-pointers in 10 games played. That's nearly 3 three-pointers a game. On top of that, his brother, Ethan, has 43 two-pointers. Hasn't recorded a three-pointer yet. He has 105 points on the year, though, accompanied by nearly 20 rebounds. And this is a stat that really sticks out to me. 50 assists. That's this team-leading stat. Also 2 blocks and 28 steals. So this guy has been a really good team player for his squad. And lastly, we have, last but not least, Andre Laquindinum. He has also been phenomenal for this Buccaneers team. He's only played in 6 games, but he has nearly half a steal a game on top of 5 assists and 5 rebounds on his season. So the trifecta of the Laquindanums have been exceptional for this Buccaneers team, and all 3 of them are instrumental to get a win against the Lancers today.
That's right. Talking about the LaQuintonums, we have 2 of them in the starting lineups today. Excuse me, 2 of them in the starting lineup out of the 3 players on the team. Just a reminder, you're watching Belleville and Livingston SEC Colonial Division basketball. Very strong division of basketball in the SEC Conference this year, but you can watch top 10 basketball later on this evening at 6 as we see number 7, Hudson Catholic versus number 4, St. Peter's Prep. But me and Alex are going to step aside and hand it over to DJ Barry for the starting lineup and the national anthem as we welcome fans back here to the Fieldhouse Gym in Livingston High School.
Please, even though you want to at halftime, stay off the court except for the cheerleaders. Please, there's salt coming from the outside and we want to keep it safe for the players. So please, at halftime, stay off the court. At this time, we're going to introduce our starting lineups. First, for Belleville Buccaneers. At guard, Ethan Laquadanum. At guard, number 11, Nasir Bey. At guard, number 23, Richmond Casino. At forward, number 13, Shane Laquadanum. And at forward, number 25, Terrence Folks. And again, we'd also like to welcome everyone at home who's watching on LTV today. Now it's time for your starting lineup for your Livingston Lancers. At center, number 35, Harris Rosenthal. At guard, number 2, Sam Smith. At guard, number 4, Dylan Harlstein. At guard, number 1, Luke Cohen. At guard, number 11, Abby Pillay. The rest of your Livingston Lancers. For this time, we ask you all to please rise at home and in person. Take your hats off and please rise as the Star Spangled Banner.
A great tribute to our nation as we'd like to welcome you here to Livingston High School's The Field House facility in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. My name is Ryan Lowy. I'm joined on the call with Alex Weiss, Jacob Bourne on camera, and of course, Sean Colasarich of Cold Sandwich Photography and D1 Media Pro is our photographer for today's event, which you can catch on his and the D1 Media Pro social media pages. The Lancers put their 5 out there, headed by Luke Cohen, and then of course the Lockheed Danon brothers and the Belleville Buccaneers, soon to join, head coach by Jim Catalano, New Jersey sporting baseball and basketball veteran. We're just moments away from tip-off, Alex. It's just a pleasure to be here for the second time this year.
Yeah, I mean, what can be said about the fans out of here? I mean, us Lancer students, we have some really good fans. It's a shame that we haven't been able to be here for a lot of the games, but this is the first game of the year 2022 that we are able to have Lancer fans here as we're getting ready for opening tip-off. That is one back by the Buccaneers. Here's Casino crossing half court.
Thank you, Alex. So now Belleville will control from far the outside. Lockheed Danon swings it on over to Casino. Casino, a little bounce pass on over. Belleville will now swing it around, a little fake shot opportunity that will not be going from Folks. Pass on inside, deflected and out of bounds. And it will be Lancers basketball for the first time this game, Alex. And that Lancers defense looking pretty strong.
Yeah, so far, I didn't see any holes, nothing that would indicate anything that is going to give the Lancers trouble today. Now let's see Peled lead the Lancers offense.
So Peled will swing it over to Smith. Smith will control. Swings it on over now. Lancers will control. Peled back on the ball. Right back out to Cohen, where Cohen will reset. He uses his dribble. He will try and weave on around Lockheed Danon. Swings it on over now. Jim turns silent as it's swung over. Smith will now try and drive on in. A little bounce pass inside to Peled is barely controlled. Pass on back out. Big risk, can't finish. Rebound is defensive, and it is tipped over to the controlling number 25, Terrence Folks. With about a minute into this game, we are still at scoreless apiece.
That last offensive possession by the Lancers is showing a lot of promising signs. However, they were not able to convert. Now, let's see if their defense can support them early here in the first quarter.
Lockheed Danon uses his dribble as he goes against Smith, and he will now hand it on away to Bay. Outside, a little mid-range jump shot is faked by Casino. Casino will now look for help, in which he will be able to find Folks. Folks on outside, dribbling on in is Lockheed Danon. He lays one on up, off the rim and out. Rebound, Dylan Perlstein, the junior. Burleson will control. He gives it on over Avi Paulette. Paulette, just a key piece to the Lancers this year in their victories. Paulette on outside to Pearlstein. Pearlstein wearing the white headband, his distinct feature. Paulette back on out to Smith. The Lancers will swing it over to Pearlstein. Pearlstein wants to get us started today, and that's exactly what he does with the 3-ball. Nothing but net, Alex.
Yeah, that was some great ball movement, great movement off the ball as well by the Lancers. And the kids here are all electric. Cheerleaders are loud. Now let's see what the defense can do.
Belleville controls. It's swung on over now. Casino, far side on over. Folks, bounce pass. Belleville will now try and work something. Frozen with it is Folks. Outside, here's a 3-ball from Casino. Rim and out. Rebound. Avi Paulette is flying. Big wrist falls on it as he loses it, and looks like we will work our way over to a jump ball, Alex. But so far, looking good for the Lancers.
Yeah, you mentioned especially Paulette with that rebound. He's leading the team in rebounds. He had 12 in his last game. His rebounding ability is something that's really going to keep the Lancers up and get a lot of extra possessions that they wouldn't otherwise have.
So Avi Paulette now on the basketball. Paulette swings it on over. Pearlstein has the only points this game with the 3-pointer. He swings it out to Cohen. Cohen back to Pearlstein. Pearlstein swings it on over to Cohen. Cohen back outside. Smith shoots a 3. And that's how the Lancers double their lead now. 2 3-pointers. We start off with the junior Pearlstein and we move to the senior with Sam Smith. The Lancers are looking hot the first 3 minutes. Belleville controls. Joaquin Dana, one of 3 brothers on this strong Belleville squad, trying to chase James Caldwell for the top of their division. Fake mid-ranger swung on over. Here's the 3-pointer from Joaquin Dana. Rim and out. Rebound. 2 Lancers went for it. Cohen finds it. He gets pit-pocketed, stays on it, dribbles on it, and he swings it out to Smith. Smith, a lot of time and a lot of space. And his 3 is just perfect. These Lancers are rating it. That's Smith's second shot of the game. He's 2 for 2 from behind the 3-line as there's a timeout on the floor from Belleville, much needed. Alex, break that first roughly 3.5 minutes of the game down. Looked absolutely brilliant.
I think that having these fans in the building kick the Lancers into an extra gear. They've been absolutely on fire to start off this game. 3 consecutive 3-pointers. And they now have a commanding 9-0 lead over the Buccaneers. If this is any indication of how this game is going to go, the Lancers are in really good shape. The Buccaneers, on the other hand, need to tighten up. The Lancers are moving around off the ball too much, and that's causing guys to get open. That's causing shots to go down. They need to contest the ball more, and they need to find a way to cool down the Lancers, who have started off this game absolutely sniping from beyond the 3-point arc. As we finish up this timeout, the Buccaneers need to make a change if they want to get a hold on what seems to be a very quick and very effective start for these Livingston Lancers.
9-0. 2 3-pointers from Smith will bounce off of the start to the game from Pearlstein. We're doing well so far. 4:43 left to go. Lancers are screaming us. Belleville needs to kick back into gear. Joaquin Dana. Swung on over to Casino, right back to Joaquin Dana. And it will be swung on over now to Bay. Belleville keeping that starting 5 in true. No substitutions from the Lancers either. Both teams like to work their starting 5 this year. As we said, an excellent job from Harris Rosenthal as he sneaked his way into this lineup. Nobody predicted him to be there, and that's exactly where he is because he's a hard and fierce worker.
This Lancers defense is looking really tight thus far. No gaps, no seams, nothing for Belleville to open up and take advantage of.
From the outside, Belleville will control. Bay, Nasir Bay, the senior, over to Joaquin Dana, the senior. 3 Joaquin Danams on this Belleville team. 2 are seniors, 1's a sophomore. 3 of them really help Belleville. Pass on inside. First finish of the game for the Belleville Buccaneers comes from Terrence Folks. And it's 9-2. So Belleville cracks the scoreboard. They're down by 7. They have a lot to come back on. Swung on over. Here's Smith. Smith feeling it from behind the line today. You know who wants to join him? Luke Cohen. He can't do so. Paulette catches it, and he is pushed out of bounds. So I believe the Lancers will retain the basketball.
Yeah, after that bucket from the Buccaneers, it seems the Lancers have cooled off a little bit, but they will have the ball back underneath the Buccaneers hoop, so they are looking to convert on this opportunity here.
Number 11, Nasir Bay.
Thrown on in, and a whistle is blown immediately. The Lancers, well, actually, we're waiting to see what the call is, and it's actually going to be a block on Livingston. Turnover. Belleville will take over. Looked like Smith wanted a timeout there.
Yeah, I mean, there was just a miscommunication there. The Lancers had a really good chance to extend their lead. However, this miscommunication ended up costing them the ball, and now a chance for the Buccaneers to capitalize on the Lancers' mistake.
Swung on over. Belleville now going to try and work one in. Passed on inside. 3 ball coming right here from Casino. Nothing but net. Boom, shakalaka. 9-5.
Well, that's what you're going to get out of Richmond Casino. He is, as I mentioned, their leading scorer, and they're going to need him to get hot if they want to have a chance at winning this game against a Livingston team that has gotten really hot to start the game as they knock down another shot.
Look at Pearlstein. He's doing excellent today. A 3-pointer, and then a little double for the Lancers. They now have an 11-5 lead. Dribbles in, good connection inside, a little mishandle there. Under it, trying to control his folks. Turned over, here come the Lancers. Cohen, bounce past Paulette. He's challenged, goes up, and finishes right over the contesting Nasir Bay. 13-5, Livingston trying to get going early.
Yeah, it's a commanding 7-point lead, but we know what Belleville has capable of. They have a lot of talented scorers. So Livingston needs to keep their foot on the pedal to retain this lead.
Casino gives it away. Joaquin Danum. Back on over, Casino finds the low. He's going against Pearlstein with 5 points in the day. Fake 3-pointer, driving on, work down outside again. Joaquin Danum bounce pass, good connection. Can't finish. Back on his rebound there is Folks. Swung on outside, Joaquin Danum. The senior drives in, passes it away as he's hit. Joaquin Danum shoots a 3. Just out, in and out it is. Rebounder Pearlstein. And now the Lancers are on the basketball. Poed blocked on the pass. It's taken away. Here's Nasir Bay. Pearlstein does not contest him too much as he finger rolls it on up. 13-7, a good finish.
Yeah, the Lancers have slowed down a little bit, but they still have a commanding 5-point lead here.
And a shout out to the Lancers student section making their return after the first game of the season. They're really giving the Lancers the energy. You could tell after the first 3 3-pointers. Passed on outside. People don't notice how much of a difference the fans actually make, especially at the high school level. These kids feed off the energy.
Yeah, it's huge.
Passed outside. Poed. 3-pointer from Cohen. He's had a great year. Can't finish on that one as that ball flat rolls out of bounds. It will be Belleville basketball. Substitution signal. Captain Warder subs in. Hoffman subs in. Rosenthal checks out as well as Poed. Belleville, no substitutions on their side. About a minute left to go here in the first quarter of action. Ryan Lowey joined with Jacob Bourne on camera, and on color today is Alex Weiss making his debut. Belleville control. Casino. Bay, mid-ranger, rim and out. Rebound, Matt Hoffman, the Marine. Livingston controls.
45 seconds left. The Lancers are probably going to try and hold on to this ball and get the last shot, but you never know what's going to happen here.
Smith outside to Pearlstein. 30 seconds left to go. No shot clock in high school basketball, and this is where we see it take prime key.
And clearly the Lancers are taking their time here. Like I mentioned, they're going to try and get the last shot as Cohen collects on the wing.
Cohen swings around, pit pocketed. He stays on it. Stays in bounds. He'll reset. 15 seconds left to go on the clock, and Coach Cohen decides he wants to use a timeout. 5 timeouts per game for each team. Livingston will burn there first after Belleville burned theirs. 15 seconds left to go. We'll adjust our clock. And what you see there, why do you think Livingston called a timeout?
Well, I think it's a 6-point game, but it probably it feels a lot more of a distance than it actually is. 6 points, 2 possessions. Livingston really needs to make this last shot here to get a little more of a comfortable lead heading into the second quarter. If they can knock down a shot here, 2-pointer, 3-pointer, it doesn't really matter. What's more important is the momentum they will generate heading into the second quarter. If they can get a couple more points on the board here to head into the second frame, it's really going to help out their team, obviously on the scoreboard, but also from a mental aspect. They'll be more confident, and it's also going to hurt the morale of the Belleville Buccaneers. Let's see what the Lancers do here with 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Ryan?
Thank you, Alex. Pearlstein will now throw it in. With 15 seconds left to go, it will go to Luke Cohen, son of head coach Dave Cohen, in an 18th season, former AD for roughly 3 years before he handed over the job to Mr. Porfido. Lancers will retain as the pass to Hoffman is deflected off of a defender from the Belleville Buccaneers.
I think they're going to run some sort of screenplay. They have Warder and Hoffman, 2 of the bigger players on the court. I think they will really utilize that.
Pearlstein Lays one up. He's feeling it today, Alex. 15-7. Last second chance for Belleville. Lockington chucks one, and it hits the roof. So that shot will be called a no contest shot. So that will do the first quarter. Livingston feeling it. Smith with 2 key threes. Pearlstein really raking up the points. 15-7 Lancers outs break down that first quarter.
Well, the Lancers obviously started off really hot with a 9-0 run. They cooled off a little bit towards the latter half of that quarter, but still a lot of really good basketball coming from this Lancers team. Belleville, on the other hand, was not really able to catch fire the same way that the Lancers were, only putting up 7 points in that quarter. Coach Catalano is going to be talking to his players right now about stepping up the intensity, because these Belleville Buccaneers, they won their last game by a pretty commanding margin. It's a 14-point margin on December 24th of 2021. So they came into this game expecting good things from themselves. Now, I think the deciding factor, honestly, is the fans. These Livingston Lancers basketball players haven't had fans since their beginning game of the season. And now having their peers, having their fellow students in the building, being able to cheer them on and give them that little extra push, helping them find that extra gear, makes a lot bigger of a difference than you could imagine. And I think that's what's driving the Lancers here to take a commanding lead after the first quarter.
So let's take a look at the standings. The Caldwell Chiefs absolutely blowing through the Colonial Division. Only 1 loss to their 11 wins. Bloomfield 10-2 trying to chase. Right under them, Belleville standing at the bottom is Livingston at a 3-8 record as we get this second quarter underway. They're trying to chase Milburn, who is second to last with a record of 7-7. Livingston and Milburn, always a good rivalry, called the South Mountain rivalry. These two teams play high-level soccer, and they played in football this year. Livingston a 23-0 win as there's a 3 from Belleville. First shot of the second quarter doesn't go. So Livingston will control. Taking his time is son of the head coach. That'll be Cohen.
Yeah, so you saw in that last possession to open up the quarter, Liquindanum took a shot, and it wasn't a bad shot. That's probably what Coach Catalano was talking about, getting his top scorers. He wants to get them hot, because that's how they're going to win this basketball game. You could see that's what they were going for. They weren't able to convert there, but we could see a lot of that going into the second quarter here.
Smith tries to work a rotation here, find some help. Thought he was going to find an inside pass. Instead, he'll have to do it himself, but he cannot maneuver around Casino. Gives it right back over to the point guard within Cohen. Luke Cohen, trapped, is able to hold on to the basketball. It goes out of bounds. They're going to say the Lancers will retain it, as the last tip there was by Lockington and Ethan.
We have a substitution here, but something I noticed on that last possession as Hoffman subs out, but something I noticed that he and Warder were doing, they were standing towards the top, trying to create screen opportunities for their ball handlers. I mentioned that at the end of the first quarter. It's something they're really going to have to utilize to get their smaller and more athletic guys open.
So the Lancers will control, and driving in is Cohen. Swings it on out to Avi Palet. Avi Palet will drive in. Nice pass to Pearlstein. Pearlstein can't get the lucky roll. Gets his own rebound, and a jump ball is worked there. A very good effort by Belleville right there, as you can really see. Itching for that ball was Lockington. And the jump ball will go to the Lancers this time. Belleville will have it next jump ball. Seen a couple jump balls so far, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I think this past jump ball comes from the pickup in intensity from the Buccaneers. Like I mentioned, Coach Catalano definitely mentioned something about not necessarily the effort, but the intensity with which the Buccaneers are playing with. And you can see that it has increased tremendously. They're moving much better on defense. They're getting to their guys. And as a result, the Lancers are struggling to find points here in the second quarter.
Cohen open for a 3. Rim backboard and out. Rebound. Warder can't get a touch on it as he tipped it on it. Lockington. About 2 minutes into this one here in the second quarter. Belleville will control Lockington. On out to Nasir Bey, and we have a whistle and a traveling violation against the Belleville Buccaneers. Give it back to Livingston. They have a 15-7 lead.
Yeah, so we really haven't seen any exciting offense in these past 2 minutes of the second quarter. But I think part of that, like I said, is the pickup in defense that the Buccaneers have had. And the Lancers, like I mentioned, they've cooled off since the initial 4 minutes of the game. But let's see what Luke Cohen and company can do to pick up their momentum and pick up where they left off in terms of scoring.
Long three-pointer, longest of the game, rim backboard and out, rebound defensive to Belleville. Nasir Bey on Smith's missed shot. Quite close from the far distance, longest shot today. Pass and a good connection three-pointer, Lockington. Whistle blows on it, and I believe we're gonna have, let's see what the call is actually.
Yeah, I wasn't sure there what the whistle was for, but it looks like Shane Liquindanum is heading to the line.
Yep, the senior twin to Ethan Lockington.
Older brother to Andre.
Yes, Andre Lockington, sophomore. So we will go to the line for 3 shots. The first shot is in. So I guess we saw a foul from outside the 3 line.
We did.
2 shots coming now from Joaquin Dana.
In 3 games, Joaquin Dana has only made 3 free throws. I don't know if that's a lack of opportunities or if he hasn't been great at the line this year, as he goes for his 3rd right now.
Big free throws right there from Belleville. 5-point difference. Sam Bodner checks in. He's going to take out Captain Warder.
And we're going to see Peled inbound here to Cohen. The 2 of them are going to be really important to get the Lancers offense going, as Cohen calls a play looking to get the Lancers on the board for the first time this quarter.
Nice pass connection inside. Peled can't finish off of Bodner's perfect pass connection. Here come the Belleville Buccaneers, struggling to dribble with it as Bay is able to get it on over through the legs. He will not contest Peled. Instead, he will pass it on over to Casino. Casino finds a lane mid-range jumper over Pearlstein. Way off, airball rebound, give it to Smith. And here comes Peled off the pass. Pearlstein's feeling it today. He'll try and drive on in, and his foot just scraped the green marker here on the hard court. He's out of bounds. Give it back to Belleville.
Yeah, that was Casino on defense. He did a really good job of keeping Pearlstein to the outside and forcing him to step out of bounds. No illegal play, no blocking foul or anything. That was just a really good body positioning by Casino.
Joaquin Dana. Casino. Casino moves to Joaquin Dana's position. Joaquin Dana checks in through the paint. Able to find a man within Joaquin Dana. Stops the dribble, chucks it on up. Rim backboard and out. Rebound, Avi Peled. The Lancers are back on it.
I mentioned before the importance of Peled's rebounding, and we saw it there. Now the Lancers get the ball, and they're going to have another opportunity to get themselves on the board.
Peled on the basketball once again, close side on the left of your screen. Nice connection pass inside. Pearlstein's feeling the runs today, and the finger roll finish. 17-10, Dylan Pearlstein. How about that?
That was a really sweet lefty finish, Ryan. Let's see what the Buccaneers do to respond here.
Dylan Pearlstein making a very good case for player of the half, which we will have for you for our halftime report right here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. Casino loses his dribble, plays it on out. Nasir Bey, back swung on over to Joaquin Dana. And his brother, Joaquin Dana, swings over far side. Here's a Casino 3-pointer, just a tad bit too strong. Avi Peled, another rebound, Alex, you said it. Avi Peled, a key rebounder for the Lancers. That's a future key to the game for Livingston if they're able to take down Belleville today.
100%. And now we see the importance of Cohen running the court. The ball always goes back to him. He's the guy managing the floor. He's the guy who's going to make the big plays for Livingston.
3-pointer from Smith. Rim backboard and out, a strong, commanding rebound from Terrence Fultz, who's been quiet for a bit. And his pass looks like it just poorly tipped off of his intended receiver, and will go to Livingston.
This is a huge play for Livingston right here. They have the momentum. They're going to have to capitalize on this Buccaneers mistake. If they're able to put the ball in the hoop on this possession, it's really gonna hurt the Buccaneers' mindset. You know, they made a mistake, and if that directly leads to a Livingston basket, which it will not, unfortunately, that would have really helped the Lancers out in terms of momentum.
Connecting pass. Joaquin Dana's 3 will do the job. It's a 4-point difference, Alex. Belleville sneaking back into this game here in the late stages of the second quarter. Roughly 3 minutes left to go before halftime. Avi Peled. Bodner can't get the fingers on it properly. Give it back to Belleville. They're down by 4. They can really knock this lead down to 1 possession here.
Yeah, so the Lancers obviously started on a 9-0 run. They started on fire. But since then, they've really cooled down. And now it is only a 4-point game with the Buccaneers knocking on the doorstep. One basket here, one mishap from the Lancers, and it's a whole new ball game. They, like I said, 9-point, 6-point lead. It seems like a lot, but it's only a few possessions, and all it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes to really change the way that this game is going.
The game of basketball, very high scoring. In comparison to other sports we see like hockey, soccer, even football in most case scenarios, as there's a nice pass connection to Joaquin Dana, and it's a 2-point difference. And we saw a similar situation in the Lancers' last home game when they took on West Orange. They had a big lead and they ended up losing that game down to the wire. I was on the call with Ian Rothenberg. Lancers still have the lead here in the second quarter. Pass on outside. Smith, Cohen, back to Smith. Swung on outside, Pearlstein will try and drive on in. A nice bounce pass to Cohen. Cohen trying to weave around, finds Smith right back on out to Sam Bodner. Bodner will bounce pass it right back on to Smith, the senior.
I mentioned before the increase in intensity for this Buccaneers defense.
Oh,
and there
what
you
a
see
block.
An amazing block by Terrence Fultz. And this defense has really gotten a lot tighter for the Buccaneers. And that's why it's a 1-possession game.
chucked up and now going to the line with it, Fultz. Nice draw there by Fultz. He has the opportunity now to tie this game back on up with that foul.
Yeah, so if we take a look at Fultz' stats here, we'll see that he has 6 free throws made on the season. That's not a ton when you factor in the fact that Bay has 40 and Casino has 25, but he's still doing his part as he sinks the first one here.
Belleville's free throws looking smooth today.
Yeah, we see Nate Nussbaum subbing in for Cohen. I think that, assuming that he makes his free throw, we're going to have a tie game. And this is a whole new game for the Lancers. They were once up, we're not going to have a tie game as the free throw goes awry. And now the Lancers come the other way.
Mid-range jumper, that works! Dylan Pearlstein! Pearl's flying from the air. He's having quite the day. As now Belleville will try and respond. Still one possession difference, Alex. This game is getting close coming to the half. Livingston a strong 9-0 run to start the game. Belleville slowly inching their way back in. Livingston, led by Pearlstein, really trying to take the lead back in hefty notes. Here's a three-point opportunity from Casino, who goes down, rim backboard out, whistle blows, foul on the ground, not from the shot from Casino as he tried to draw one.
Yeah, so it's something I'm noticing here towards the last minute of the half is the Lancers, they started off flying on offense. Their intensity was really high. It seemed like they weren't making any mistakes, and they were playing a perfect offensive game. Now, they're starting to slip up a little bit. They're starting to have miscommunications and some breakdowns. Now the Lancers steal the ball, and Pearlstein crossing half court. Let's see what they can do.
Able to poke it away as he himself was getting the ball poked away from him. Over to Smith. Smith, with a minute left to go, and we have a whistle blown.
We have a warning from the referee here. Looks like things were getting a little scrappy on the corner of the right wing.
Looks like that was actually directed to Bodner, who gets taken out by the starter Harris Rosenthal.
64 seconds remaining here in the half. Let's see what the Lancers do. Do they hold? Do they go for a quick bucket? Looks like they're calling a play here that's led by Peled.
So Avi Peled on it. Contested by Bay. He will bounce pass it away. Here's Nate Nussbaum's first offensive touch. And it's going to be a little chip pass on over to Smith, who finds Pearlstein. Bounce pass. Rosenthal chucks one. It's way too strong. Defensive rebound. Casino. 45 seconds left to go. Taking it on up now. For Belleville will be Richmond Casino as he swings it on over.
I think the Buccaneers are going to go for the last shot here, but it's going to be difficult because before these last couple positions, Livingston's defense has looked really good.
Shot fits in through the net. An excellent finish from Nasir Bay. And we have a 1-point difference. The Lancers will now try and respond with 20 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Avi Peled. He's going one-on-one versus Nasir Bay. Bay tips it away. He's able to find the basketball. Peled goes down. He will not challenge. And an easy finish from Nasir Bay. Gives Belleville their first lead of the game in the closing moments. Lancers will try and control Pearlstein, just the guy who wanted the ball. Nussbaum three-pointer, first points of the game.
And he got it!
He got it! A three-pointer for Livingston. They take a 22-20 lead. That's how we go to half. We're going to have our halftime report next, right here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network, presented to you by NJ Orthopedics.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. From the moment you become a patient in our practice, our experienced team supports you until your full recovery with education, compassion, and understanding. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite. In conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology, we can not only address the current injury, but also find the underlying cause, such as muscle weakness, imbalance, or improper form. We also offer non-surgical modalities, such as platelet-rich plasma injections, which can lead to an accelerated recovery. To provide efficient and excellent care, personal interactions and individualized attention for each patient is important. We are committed to create a protocol that can eliminate similar injuries in the future. At North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute, we are dedicated to providing the highest standard of care and comfort of athletes, including patients with non-related sports injuries. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist Dr. Michael Rosanella utilizes non-surgical and minimally invasive surgical procedures to help patients regain back their quality of life.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Up the middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy, and he keep going, and he
the ball's loose.
And they hop back on it, and that's a touchdown.
Short punt, bounds at the 35, fielded at the 40 by Quick, out to the corner. He's got blockers and a lot of green grass in front of him. Cuts back, he's in for a touchdown.
Swing pass in the flat. Touchdown.
Good job, block. 3rd down and 17, a handoff, getting to the outside. There's a hole, there's a first down, and all the way to the races is Elijah McWilliams to the house for a touchdown and for an IMIC for a division championship. Welcome back to the Fieldhouse Gymnasium, the main gym here at Livingston High School in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. Ryan Lowy on the call, joined on the call with the great Alex Weiss, and on camera the great Jacob Bourne. On the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network, a first half that was controlled by Livingston. Nate Nussbaum secured the end of the lead for the Lancers. They have a 22-20 lead after they gave it up for the first time off of a nice little Belleville run. Break down that whole first half as Livingston went on a 9-0 run, blew their lead, and then got it back last second off of a snipe shot.
Yeah, Livingston came out flying. They went on a 9-0 run, 3 3-pointers, and I think that was mainly fueled by the student section here. These players haven't seen their fans in quite a while, and it must have been an amazing feeling for these players to be able to feel the presence of their fellow students, their fans around them. It's a feeling that can't be replicated, and for the players, it clearly made a difference as they came out flying. Now, the latter end of the first quarter was a little bit less strong for the Lancers, as they weren't able to put up the same volume of points, and they certainly were not doing it at the rate that they were doing it to start the game. Now, on the other side of this, Belleville had a bit of a rocky start, but they were able to pick it up towards the end of the first and beginning of the second quarter.
Now, you mentioned, Alex, that student section. We know where they're going to be at tonight. They'll probably be late to school tomorrow because Livingston has a big hockey game tonight down in Roselle at the Warren Echo Sports Ice Rink Complex as they're taking on Governor Livingston, the McInnes Cup finalists who lost 5-2 to Westfield
just a couple nights ago in a thrilling hockey game. That's a McInnes Cup matchup in the NJIIHL. 8:35 scheduled puck drop. Austin Vecchio will be there. We will not be on the broadcast this evening. We hope to be back on Friday for Summit. But for basketball, we're potentially going to be there on Thursday. Let's focus on this game. Livingston and Belleville, first half. Let's talk about Dylan Perlstein, really sneaking on that stat sheet. This has been his best game to date.
Oh, 100%. His shooting's been great. He had a really nice drive through the lane, nice left-handed finish. And I think his energy and his scoring in the first half of this game has been a really key part in keeping the Lancers going. I know they started off strong and kind of slowed down. Just even though they got the lead back, the momentum is with Belleville right now. But with that being said, it's Perlstein's scoring, it's Perlstein's energy, along with Cohen and along with Peled, that have gotten these Lancers going. Now with that being said, I want to go back to what I alluded to with the Lancers recapturing the lead. Ryan, tell me what you saw on that last shot by Nate Nussbaum.
Well, Nussbaum really opened up the court, had a brilliant finish, and I think he really gave Livingston that, happiness going into the halftime. They really needed that double H, happiness halftime, because they had the lead the entire first half, and it would really not feel good for them to come into this second half down after such a strong start to the first half, like we saw versus West Orange, where they unfortunately blew their lead and ended up putting that one in the loss column to a rusty West Orange team and only their second game of the season. We got second half basketball coming up next. In a 42-point game, Livingston is up by 2, 22-20. We'll be right back after our message from one of our co-sponsors at the elite Muhammad Nia School of Newark. Sneaking onto the horizon. 90 seconds left to halftime here for the Fieldhouse in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. And Alex, let's talk about the county tournament. Tonight is the seating at James Caldwell High School. Their athletic department runs the tournament. Now tell me, Alex, who did Coach Cohen say he thinks is going to be probably the favorite for the county tournament? Well, and I think I was also thinking it.
Yeah, so we were talking to Coach Cohen, and he had a lot to say about the tournament, but he mentioned Seton Hall. He also, if I'm not mistaken, mentioned a few other schools, but he talked about Seton Hall as they're the force to be reckoned with. They're the team to beat in this tournament.
He said, I believe, Seton Hall prepped the favor, Montclair and Immaculate a close second. Those two teams actually took each other on in a showcase tournament down in Hackensack on the on-demand function on the D1 Neutral page and the NFHS Network. I was on the call. Go check that out. That was about 2 weeks ago from today's date. If I'm going to give you a rough estimate, the date of the game was January 2nd. So we're getting ready for the second half of this one. Livingston and Belleville, two teams probably squeezing into the middle rankings of the Essex County Tournament. They both compete in the Super Essex Conference's Colonial Division, in which James Caldwell's actually at the helm with Bloomfield just a game behind them. Livingston in last place. They're actually far behind in last place, trying to sneak back in, as in front of them, the Milburn Millers, their neighboring rivals, with a 7-7 record. So Livingston's got to get on a win streak coming into this county tournament and really do damage in this county tournament to fit themselves back into the standings come time for the state playoffs, excuse me.
Yeah, you talked about Milburn. I want to focus in on that. There's a lasting rivalry between the Livingston Lancers and the Milburn Millers. Every single sport, there's no one in Livingston that can stand the Millers. There's no one in Milburn that can stand the Lancers. But let's get back to this game here as Belleville starts with the ball to begin the second half. Ryan?
Thank you, Alex. We have another half of basketball here. Third quarter, 16 fresh minutes to play. 8 minutes this third quarter, 8 minutes this fourth quarter. Livingston up 22-20 right here on the D1 News page on the NFHS Network. It is a great day for basketball, Alex. Great to have the fans back in attendance since the first time this season. How do you feel with this attendance? I really feel the energy.
It's electric in here. The cheerleaders are leading these cheers as they should be. They're doing a great job getting the fans engaged. pretty full student section here today, accompanied by every class, freshmen through seniors, here to support their fellow Lancers. And now we're getting ready to start this game, and we will see the Buccaneers inbound to Nasir Bay. Ryan, what do you got?
Belleville will now control Lockheed Needham. Belleville and Livingston both looking at a very similar starting five to what started the game, if not a mock of it. Casino back outside. Lockheed Needham. Ball shifted on over. Here's the three from Lockheed Needham. Heavily contested. Brimming out. Rebound. Luke Cohen. He loses the basketball on the floor. It is poked on out by Belleville. Pass connection on inside. Swung on out. Bay. Whistle comes in and we have a foul. Student section doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's going to be on Peled. And I don't think he likes that call either. But we're going to see underneath the hoop Buccaneers ball. It's really important that they convert on this, though. They're down a basket early here in the second half, and they really need to get even here and get some momentum going into this third quarter.
So Bay will swing it over to Ethan Lockheed-Danem, the senior. Seen a lot from the Lockheed-Danem brothers. Not yet Andre Lockheed-Danem, the sophomore, but the two senior brothers, the twins, doing a phenomenal job. Mid-range jumper from Casino, rimming out, and the rebound easily by Luke Cohen with assistance from Rosenthal in the back. And leaving it to take up for the Lancers will be Avi Peled, just having a phenomenal year for the Lancers. Really just a key piece for the team. He's got a big frame as he gets it back from Rosenthal and swings it on over to Cohen. Outside, a good first half from Pearlstein as he gives it on away to Smith and back to Cohen, and now out to Avi Peled. Lancers giving everyone a touch on the basketball. This long first or so drive of the third quarter. Back on out to Luke Cohen. Swung on out. Three ball from Smith. Rimming out, rebound. Big wrist with the rebound. A commanding one, the fierce face from him. Three ball. Give him the assist as well. It's a three. Luke Cohen is on fire this half. 25-20 and this game.
And who else but Luke Cohen? This is the spark the Lancers needed. The student section's going crazy, and Belleville needs a response now.
Student section, Livingston really feeling it as they're trying to upset the third team in a very tough Colonial division. Probably the second best division here in the SEC. Mid-range jumper in response. Rim backboard and out. Big wrist. Can't get a touch on it. And, well, actually, he can get a touch on it as he touches it out of bounds for a Belleville throw.
Well, I was talking about intensity a lot in the first half. You see the Lancers came out of the locker room starting this half off with lots of intensity. As you saw Rosenthal there giving his all to get that rebound.
Euro step. Way too many steps before the Euro, as it will be a traveling violation. Livingston on the basketball. As Cohen will take it right back in off the ref's hands, and taking it up will be Avi Peled. As you could say, probably skill-wise, Avi Peled really spearheading this Lancers team, as well as Luke Cohen. Lob pass to Cohen, connects. Big wrists on the basketball, as he gives it over to Smith. Back out. Big wrists. Livingston controls. Luke Cohen. Cohen will leave it for Peled. Harris Rosenthal fakes a three-pointer. And he will now offer the screen to Luke Cohen. Cohen getting shifty, getting groovy, getting moving as he gives it away. Pearlstein shoved out of bounds. There will be a foul called before he stepped off.
I really like what I'm seeing from these Lancers. They slowed down a little bit, but they're controlling the pace. They're moving the ball by their terms. They're looking for cuts. They're looking for open passes. And if they keep moving the ball like this, if they keep communicating at this level, I think we're going to have a really exciting second half of Lancers offense. Ryan?
Smith, Rosenthal, Peled. Lancers taking their time. One thing I'm noticing, they're setting up the center, Harris Rosenthal, outside the paint, as he will now see the ball, take a mid-range jumper, rim and out. Rebound is defensive. It'll come from Casino. Casino gives it away. Control from Lockheed-Danem. Back outside. Lockheed-Danem. Oh, little miscommunication with Bay. Belleville will turn it over without too much Lancer effort.
Oh, I want to go back to what you said about Rosenthal playing more towards the top of the key. I think that's more for defensive purposes than it is trying to put the ball in the basket. They need to really make sure that they can lock up these Buccaneers heading into the second half.
Dylan Pearlstein. Back out to Cohen. Peled probably sees the basketball the most so far for the Lancers this year. Gets a lot of touches. Pearlstein. Back out to Peled. Smith, they swing it around to Cohen. One thing we've noticed, the Lancers, they are snipe shooters. They're not big players, but they're snipe shooters. So when they're not behind the 3 line, they tally up those points, and they put pressure on better teams like Belleville. Nice pass connected to Cohen. Pass inside, they find Pearlstein. Pearlstein will go to the line.
You hear every single Lancer standing up on the bench right now. Every single student's clapping. It's electric in here. You could tell these guys really want it. The fans want it. The student section wants it. And it's shaping up to be a very exciting game for the Lancers fans here.
Pearlstein. A player connecting under pressure today. Imagine how easy he connects when he's not under pressure. 26-20. The Lancers have a 6-point lead. They're really trying to grow that lead back.
Yeah, I mean, they started off at 9, and it could be a potential 3-possession lead for the Lancers now, as the second free throw is good.
So 27-20 is your separation. We've seen 47 points so far. Casino back out, locking Danum. And a whistle blows as Cohen goes down, and they're going to say it was on Cohen. A blocking foul. Cohen tried to draw the charge, and he just didn't get it. Throw in for locking Danum.
That foul's on Luke Cohen. His first team second, double ball advantage.
Pass right back on in. 3-pointer. Locking Danum is off. Rebound. Big wrist finds it. And a jump ball is finally called. And the Lancers will retain the basketball. Good effort by Big Wrist. The Lancers are on it.
Yeah, the Lancers so far, they haven't been scoring in the same volume, but they're pushing the pace of this game. They're controlling the way the ball moves, and that's really important for this Lancer squad.
Ball poked away. Cohen stays on it. No backcourt violation. It was tipped out of his hands. Paulette drives through. Outside to Smith. Smith contested 3-ball. Rim and out. Rebound. Belleville with momentum. Here they come. Bay contested by 2. Throws it up. Just misses the end one. Oh, that would have been key for Belleville, but they will try and knock down that lead of Livingston's anyway.
That foul's on Avi Peled.
So Avi Peled will be the guilty verdict. His 2 Lancers went for it.
Nasir Bey at the free throw line is something that the Buccaneers have seen all year. He's knocked down a team-leading 40 free throws, as you can hear the student section trying to prevent him from getting 41 and 42. And so far, so good for Lancers fans, as the first shot goes rim and out, and the Lancers will retain their 7-point lead.
One thing we noticed about this Belleville roster, all seniors, a freshman and a sophomore, not too many juniors. Because there's one shot, and actually not one junior on the roster. So a little hole in the gap next year. I'm assuming next year senior night is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, they're a very top-heavy team, so it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of years how this squad develops while losing a lot of their key roles.
Pass connection inside, Big Wrist with the finish! Execution! Harris Rosenthal! And the Lancers control. Bay. 11 on 11 as he takes on number 11, Avi Peled. Pass connection outside. Mid-ranger actually passed away on the fake, got me. Locking Danum on out. Pass inside to Locking Danum, works a pass connection. A commanding and strong push and finish right there from Terrence Folk, asserting his dominance.
Yeah, Folks might be the biggest guy in this court, and he's letting everybody know it. He's staying strong underneath the basket, and he's scoring a lot of points in the paint because he's presenting his presence to these Lancers defenders.
Avi Peled with 2.5 left to go roughly here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to have a good 4th quarter coming up. Livingston trying to upset the 3rd team in their division, standing at last in the Colonial Division. As the Essex County Tournament will start this Thursday. Very excited for it. Should be a fun one. The drawing is this evening down at James Caldwell High School. Rosenthal signals. Lancers trying to work a play from the outside. Avi Peled working through the legs. And the Lancers will string it around to Cohen. Cohen dives in. A nice little Euro step. Finish can't go. Rebound poked by Belleville as they will control. Locking Danum, a connecting pass, and a good finish right there from Locking Danum. The Locking Danum brothers really asserting their dominance as they're pushing Belleville right back into this game once again after seeing themselves down by 7.
The pace has slowed a bit for the Lancers, but they're going to look to get it right back up and retake their commanding lead.
Big wrist, a little overhead pass as he's able to work it on over to Smith. Sam Smith. Rosenthal. Gives it on over. Smith is trapped. Belleville working a double team. Mid-range jumper. Rosenthal. Can't go. Avi Paulette rebound. Avi Paulette putback. Sounds good, doesn't it? Avi Paulette rebound. Avi Paulette putback.
Yeah, we've heard that once or twice so far.
Casino. And a whistle blows. And it looks like Belleville will retain as there's a foul. Looks like on the shot.
No, I think
no, on the floor.
It's gonna be on the floor here.
Yeah, on the floor. 58 seconds left to go.
Belleville out of bounds. We are under a minute.
It's a very important possession here for the Buccaneers.
Thrown in, mid-range jumper. Off the backboard and in, the bank is open.
Didn't even need a dribble for that one. That was Richmond Casino with the bucket.
Under 50 seconds now left to go before the fourth quarter, and oh boy, it's going to be a fun one. Livingston trying to upset the Belleville Buccaneers. Swung on over. Smith, 35 seconds. Out to Avi Paulette. Coming up in the fourth quarter, we're going to talk about the history of these two teams taking each other around in multiple sports, and trust me, it's an interesting one. Diving in, Paulette chucks one up, and he finishes, uses the rim for assistance, gives Livingston that 6-point lead back. They're going to try and go to their third consecutive quarter in the lead. Swung on outside, 3-point ball for Lockheed Dana. It's good! Shane Lockheed Dana, the senior twin, executes, and it's a one-possession difference with 10 seconds left. Avi Paulette drives through two. Does he have a lane? Tosses one up. In and out, can't finish. Big risk, fights for the ball.
Jump ball.
Jump ball. Put 2 seconds back on the clock.
It will be Belleville ball, and they are down 3. So it's not crazy to think that they might be able to get a shot off and tie it up and have a significant amount of momentum going into this fourth quarter. Let's see what they do here.
Passed in, final second, ball chucked on up. Horn rings as an air ball shot from over the half court from Ethan Lockheed Dana can't go. That secures another Livingston lead to end the corner. They have a 33-30 lead going into the fourth quarter. They're trying to upset the Belleville Buccaneers. It's coming up next, right after this message from our hockey friends on D1 Media Pro.
Here's Kramer. Kramer walking in. Pass in front. They score! 5. Puck comes back out to the point. Gorski with a shot, and then they score! Slap shot from the point. Block the side. Here comes Ken Bishop walking in short-handed. He scores! Off the head for the Marauders. Here comes Benkovich. They score! Michael Benkovich for St. Petersburg, and they lead it 3-2. The celebration is underway. The horn sounds, and the Glen Rock Panthers are the McGinnis Cup champions. But that's going to do it. The revenge tour is complete. The Don Bosco Prep Ironmen are the Gordon Cup Conference champions.
Get ready for the fourth quarter. Here on the D1 Media page on the NFX Network in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. An SEC Colonial Division battle sees Livingston at the helm 30-30. They've been up all 3 quarters, and these two teams took each other on actually last year in soccer. Livingston a 3-0 win in that game. Key performances from Grant Chevron and Zach Feldman. Chevron currently now at the University of Tampa, not playing athletics. Feldman possibly looking to play D1. He's currently at a club soccer tournament down in Florida. As there's a pass that's passed away. Speaking of Lancers soccer, a couple other Lancers playing in one of the nation's elite club soccer tournaments. That includes Charlie Grossman, Jake Hans, and Jared Fisk. Fisk going to play at Vassar College. You can catch Lancers soccer on the on-demand function on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. You can see their quarterfinal run of the sectional tournament and their semifinal run of the county tournament, as well as a 16-4-1 record. The beat for that one, as there's an error ball shot that is rebounded right there from the Lancers, and taking it up is Avi Paulette.
And the student section is really making sure Casino knows that he airballed that shot. Absolutely ruthless. And these Lancers are feeding off of it as they look to convert on one of their first possessions of the quarter.
Cohen drives on in. Cohen Euro steps, can't finish, gets the call. Good effort there by Cohen. Now this doesn't have to do with Belleville as a team, but Belleville as a location hosted the finals of the Essex County Soccer Tournament, in which the girls had a tough loss to West Orange, but the road to get there was very interesting. They actually won in a shootout versus a very strong program within Montclair. last year in the semifinals. The first shot was in, and that was how they qualified. They then lost to West Orange in the finals by a goal or two, and then they beat them 3-0 in the state tournament. As a little revenge, they made it to the sectional finals and a tough loss on the road. Second shot doesn't go. Rebound Belleville, and a whistle right off of the rebound.
So Luke Cohen, you saw he just went 1 for 2 in the line, which is a little surprising. He leads the Lancers in free throws made, that being his 20th of the season. But the Lancers still have a 2-possession lead that they're looking to hold on to as we approach the middle area of this fourth quarter. Ryan?
Casino. Pass outside, three-pointer Joaquin Danum doesn't go. Rebound poked away. It's going to stay Belleville basketball.
I don't know about that call, but regardless, it will stay Buccaneers ball, and they really need a basket here to keep the momentum from completely getting into the grasp of the Lancers.
Not Joaquin Danum, that's Casino. Swung on outside, Nasir Bey. Possible opportunity for Joaquin Danum, back on outside. Nasir Bey drives in commandingly as he's challenged by 2. He still somehow fits it through.
Yeah, Bey doesn't care about the contact, he doesn't care about defenders. He's going to impose his will, push his way into the paint, and we saw there with a commanding bucket to bring this within 2.
Smith will take his time. Loses his dribble, poked away. Here comes Belleville on a 3-on-1 opportunity. Nice connecting little pass to work around Warder. Nasir Bey finishes, assist to Joaquin Danum. It's time basketball game here with about 6 minutes left to go in this one. Warder will have to fight for it, and a jump ball is worked. Belleville really coming out fiery these first 2 minutes.
Yeah, we have a tie game now, and Belleville is carrying the momentum with them. They know that this is anybody's game at this point, and it's going to come down to whoever wants it more, because both these teams have been playing very similar games, and they've been matched up at a very similar skill level. So it's this intensity that both teams have that's going to be the deciding factor.
Joaquin Danum, overhead pass tipped by Pearlstein, kept in, or actually not, but I believe it went out of bounds first before the attempted save there from Terrence Fulks. Interesting thought process there.
I agree. I wasn't really sure what was going through his head. Regardless, Belleville ball with a chance to take the lead.
Belleville haven't seen a lead since the closing stages, I believe, of the half it was.
Yep.
And then that 1-point difference was quickly taken away by Nussbaum with a 3-pointer to give the Lancers the 22-20 lead going into the third quarter of this one. An exciting one it's been here at the Fieldhouse as the whistle blows. Offensive foul on the Belleville Buccaneers cancels that finish from Fulks. Livingston gets the ball back in this tie game with 5:40.
That's exactly what the Lancers needed. They needed a spark, they needed something. Now they have the ball, the chance to take back their lead. Student section love that. The bench love that. The Lancers really need to take their lead back, but the Belleville wants nothing of that as we see them pressing full court. Peled looks to take charge as he crosses half.
Oh, Peled getting jumpy with it. And there's a whistle. It is going to be I'll wait for you to see what this one is.
Looks like we're going to have
a block. An and one?
The shot did not fall, but Peled will take 2 shots as that was a block on Belleville.
So Belleville charged. Peled will shoot 2.
14 free throws made on the season.
Coming into this one as the first shot is in. Livingston get their lead back with 5.5 left to go.
But just barely, Ryan. Still anyone's game.
Absolutely. Belleville have really fought their way back in. Livingston have not been able to keep a 2-possession lead as they've been up by 9 the most. As this ball finds itself back into play in the hands of the Belleville Buccaneers. And number 11, Nasir Bey. Swung on over, Joaquin Danum. Belleville control from outside the 3-line. Bey. Nice connecting pass inside. And a finish gives Belleville the lead for the second time this game. Folks, Belleville up by just 1. Second time they've been up today. Hoffman, 3-sport athlete, committed Marine, dedicating his service to our nation, as well as Livingston High School basketball, baseball, and soccer. 3-sport athlete. That varsity jacket must look nice.
Yeah.
He's on the ball now, Hoffman. Cohen drives through. Can't give Livingston the lead back. His shot can't roll. Hoffman fights for it back. Belleville back on it. And we have a traveling violation. A very good effort there by Hoffman.
That's all Hoffman there. And you mentioned three-sport varsity athlete is Hoffman. And I mean, aside the fact that he is a dominant force on the field in the court, guy's a class act as well. I had the pleasure of knowing him and talking to him. Just an overall great guy. Let's see if his efforts are going to be able to help the Lancers get their lead back.
This one could very much go down to the wire. Perlstein trapped on it, mistouches the basketball, but looks like it deflected off of a Buccaneer, and Livingston will have it.
That was good defense by Bay, but unfortunately just kicked off of him, and now the Lancers are going to get the ball back with just over 4 minutes to go.
Well, the cheerleaders are preparing, as a JV game will be succeeding this one, a 5:30 scheduled start. 28 minutes from now, probably will be delayed as usual when a back-to-back game situation happens in high school basketball. Scheduled for 5:30 is probably when the JV attendance will be arriving. Perlstein. Smith. Cohen. Hoffman. Under 4 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Ryan Lowry. We're joined with Alex Weiss and Jacob Bourne on camera. Weiss has been a pleasure, a very good basketball game. Handoff. Avi Peled. Nice pass to Hoffman. Hoffman trying to reach the scoreboard. Way too strong. Hoffman gunned one up there like a cannon.
Yeah, just a little too much on that, or the Lancers will get their lead back.
Belleville up by 1. They're going to try and add on to it. And fouled going to the line is Terrence Folks, the senior.
Now, as we see Folks head to the line, we also see the JV squad for the Belleville Buccaneers walking into the gym as they get ready to take on the Lancers in a JV matchup.
Livingston JV looking very strong this year. Key performances from them. Benjamin Weinberger, as this first shot is actually airballed as well. Oh wow, the Lancers shooting section really going crazy on that one.
Yeah, they want to make sure they let him know, especially the mental games, as silly as they might be. They're important in a game like this where it's a very close game coming down to the wire. Even the smallest things like that can have an impact on what the score looks like when the clock hits 0.
Next shot. Can't get the lucky roll. Belleville can't get their biggest lead of the day. They're going to keep it at 1. Swung on over. Smith. 3 ball. It's far from Cohen. Can't get the lucky roll. Stuffed on the rim, that one was. Finally fell down to Belleville's hands. Once again, JV game coming up next. And key performances from the Lancers this year, as I was saying, coming from Benjamin Weinberger, as well as Elias Porter, 2 juniors. As this is passing out, as well as Evan Bader, who also plays varsity soccer here at Livingston High School. Saw some key starts versus the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, the Milburn Millers in the home opener. That Livingston boys soccer team, 16-4-1, best record they've had in a long time. Finger roll gives Belleville their biggest lead of the day of a 1 possession of 3 points, so not panic mode for Livingston, still 2.5 left to go. As there was a finish from Richmond Casino, Las Vegas is open.
And so is the bank on that one. But you mentioned panic mode. Livingston has no reason to panic. Still plenty of time left on the clock in a 1-possession game. They shouldn't hit the panic button just yet, but they do have to get something going, as we see Cohen with the ball.
Smith thinks he finds a lane, he has to work it on out. Whistle comes in. And Belleville will take the basketball, so...
It's an interesting call there, Ryan.
Belleville ball.
Livingston now starting to show a little frustration.
Bell's number 2. Sam Smith.
As we have a timeout called. And it looks like that was a Livingston timeout. And, well, what do you think the frustration is right now for Livingston?
Well, I talked about pace before, but I still think that it's a very relevant conversation to have. In the last few minutes, Belleville has really been able to push the pace and play the game that they want to play. Play with their pace. Play according to how they want to play. The Lancers' problem is that they're not able to keep up. They're not adjusting to the way that Belleville is pushing the court, whereas Belleville is able to dominate because they're playing their game. Same reason that the Lancers were able to take a commanding lead early and then again play really well coming out of the half. Belleville is now using that same concept of pace against the Lancers. And if they can't turn it around and make an adjustment according to how the Buccaneers are running the court at this point, I think the Lancers are going to be disappointed. But who knows? we know Coach Cohen has a few tricks up his sleeve, and you know it's not over until the clock hits 0 and we hear the buzzer. So it's shaping up to be a very interesting finish as the clock winds down for this timeout.
Well, no matter the result of this one, I'll tell you what, the Livingston student section, which we're very happy to have back,
100%.
Here in attendance today, has a lot more cheering to do this evening, as at 8:35 down in Roselle at Warren Echo, the ice skating rink. They're taking on Governor Livingston in their away matchup versus Governor Livingston, their second and final time on the regular season schedule. Last time they played, Governor Livingston had the pleasure of being one of 3 teams to not lose to Livingston in Livingston's dominant season, where they find themselves as 9 in the state of New Jersey for ice hockey, one of the top public schools, I believe, ranked number 2. Pass, tipped off a Lancer. Do we have a, looks like a kicked ball, and it's going to be given right back to Belleville. As we said, Livingston ice hockey, just a phenomenal year they're having under their head coach of Conklin.
Yeah, the leadership group on that team has been phenomenal, led by guys like Vecchio and Gerspard, and we'll see them in action tonight, but right now, it's all basketball.
That's right, we have a big basketball game for both Livingston and the Belleville Buccaneers to worry about. Belleville trying to chase Caldwell and Bloomfield to fit into the top of their division. Livingston trying to get out of that pit and catch up to Milburn. Nice connection inside to Casino. Somehow finds the basketball after almost being intercepted by not 1 but 2 Lancers. Paulette and Cohen couldn't find it. Pass not intercepted. Cutting on out is Joaquin Dana. He decides to burn time. Casino and the basketball. Livingston running wild and rampant for it.
Yeah, but they've broken up the pace that the Buccaneers have tried to establish, and that's why you're not seeing anything going. Miscommunication, missed passes. That's because of Livingston's tight defense that's messing up the rhythm that the Buccaneers have tried to establish.
So whistle blows, and this is really something that always kills a high school basketball coach that's losing. No shot clock in high school basketball.
Right.
At any level.
That was a foul on Luke Cohen, who has looked good today, but this foul is going to end up being, I believe, a 1-on-1.
Yep.
And if one and or both of these shots go in, it might just put the game out of reach. But like I mentioned before, you can never count this team out until the buzzer hits 0.
Belleville goes 1 for 2, or even 2 for 2 in this one. Livingston will have to play the shoot and foul game. First one goes, Belleville, a 2-possession lead. Oh boy, what do you think their coach is going to be saying to them if they have a win after this game? I mean, they almost lost to Livingston. Livingston, you know, obviously trying to fight them way back in this division. A lot of talent they had, but Livingston's record not really proving to be much of a threat to teams like Belleville, to Caldwell, etc.
I mean, it's not the game that the Buccaneers came into here looking to play, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, as you see a timeout called. But like I said, a win is a win, whether it's by 1 point, 20 points. Obviously, you want to play the best game that you can as a team and have the most productive outing that you can as a group of a very top-heavy team, especially with strong leadership. But like I said, the most important thing is leaving this building with a win for either team.
Now, we've spoken about it. Livingston, a very strong team in comparison to other years coming into this one. They really were excited for the season, really advertised it on social media. The record hasn't really shown to be what they've wanted, but let's not lie here. They have a lot of three-point shooting talent.
They do. This team does have a lot of guys, upperclassmen especially, seniors, and we saw Nussbaum, who hasn't played that much today, but he had a really important shot at the end of the half, and he was in the game now playing some exceptional defense. They have some guys that can really put the ball in the hoop, especially from further distances, and we haven't seen an insane amount of that today, but it's something definitely to watch out for as Livingston continues on.
So here we go. Belleville, the third team in their Colonial Division. Lancers sitting behind Milburn, far behind in their division. This would be a massive win for Livingston. I know this would pump up the Livingston student section if they're able to come back from this one. Bounce pass into Paulette, 50 seconds. Nonetheless, Alex, a great game we saw here today. Two fantastic teams battling it out to prep for their county tournament, which both will compete in the Essex County tournament, drawing tonight in Caldwell. Intercepted and taken away. Bay, icing on the cake.
This is good for Mr. Bay.
42-35. Passed on into Bodner. Bodner checking back in. Whistle blows immediately, and, well, Bodner will turn it over. Belleville on the basketball.
Well, like you mentioned before, regardless of the outcome, both of these teams showed an extreme amount of resilience. Belleville able to crawl out of the early hole that they dug themselves. Livingston clawing their way back at the very end. Both teams showed resilience. Both teams worked hard. As we see a foul by Livingston, I don't know if that's going to be enough, but regardless of how the game ends, both teams showed a tremendous effort and a lot of good signs for every player on this court, right?
Called on the foul for Livingston Pearlstein. I think he really probably was the best player for Livingston today. Just absolutely phenomenal, contributional at every level.
I agree.
Strong defensively, strong offensively, hustled well, never really out of position. Had a key game as the first of the one-on-one shots goes. 8-point lead for Belleville, scraping away with the win.
Yeah, so, I mean, we talked about, obviously we keep alluding to the tremendous lead that Livingston had, but I mean, I said it then and I'll say it again. Basketball is a sport where it's very streaky. So Livingston started out hot and they kind of cooled down. They had different spurts of scoring and they scored in bunches, but at the end of the day, it's about who could put more points on the board consistently. And today that team was Belleville, as Livingston misses a 3.
So Belleville will hold. Yeah, Belleville will hold. They'll have to take it across the line. They struggle to do so as there's a whistle, but the clock will run down nonetheless just in time. So the final score is 43-35. The Belleville Buccaneers come up with the victory. They're on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. Key performances today from Belleville, the Lakeem Danum brothers. From Casino, who's your player of the game?
I think you hit the nail on the head with all 3 of them. But I think especially someone that we didn't talk about as much, that probably should have gotten more recognition, was Nasir Bey. Bey was all over the court. He was a workhorse on offense. He was locking up on defense. And I know we didn't say his name a ton. And he might not have been putting up the same stats as Casino or the Lakeem Danum brothers. But at the end of the day, Bey was an animal on the court. And it was his resilience, his effort, that was a huge part of this win for the Belleville Buccaneers.
No doubt about it. So the next game for Livingston, they're taking on an even tougher team of Bloomfield, sitting at 10-2 right now. This Thursday, they got a 7 p.m. tip-off. We got nighttime basketball right here on the D1 Media Per page on the NFHS Network as scheduled. And not only that, but for Belleville, their next upcoming game coming off of this tough win against Livingston, they're taking on Hoboken 4 days away from today on Friday. That's going to be a tough one. Hoboken, a very strong program, 6-4 they sit, but they've played very tough competition. Ryan Lowy, Alex Weiss, Jacob Bourne closing out this one. We just took a look, at where these two teams will be playing next. As the final score, Belleville comes up with a win with a 43-35 victory. They will move with another win on the season. Livingston will fall once again, as that will do this Colonial Division matchup right here from the Fieldhouse Gym in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey. Ryan Lowy, Alex Weiss, Jacob Gorin saying good night. And we'll see you this Thursday for Livingston basketball, and this evening for both Roselle Catholic and St. Peter's basketball. Toodaloo.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play, Winston the Turn it to the